we have to talk about the college football
Oh,
bracket.
can we just all do it together? I mean, let's just exhale all at the same time.
Ooh, no
No Alabama.
Alabama. No Alabama. Let's look at this right here.
Gosh,
This
I'm so happy.
so uh let's first go through the bracket for those listening. If you can see it, if you're watching us on the clips or on YouTube, you can clearly see it. But for the people listening, yeah, Oregon is the number 1 seed, Georgia the number 2 seed, Boise the number 3 seed, Arizona State the number 4
Which
seed.
hell yeah, Arizona State coming out of
I
nowhere and
dude,
getting
they
the 4 seed. That
remember
was
we were
awesome.
looking at it and they were going to be like in or out as the 12 seed. And then all of a
Yeah.
sudden they jumped all the way up to the 4th seed with a first round bye, which is just
S
insane.
That's good for them.
Yeah. And then we have our first round matchups are number 9 Tennessee at number 8 Ohio State, Clemson, Texas, Indiana, Notre Dame, SMU, Penn State. So just before we get into the minutia of this and how this happened, Casino, just thoughts on the first official college football playoff bracket.
I'm happy with it, honestly. I'm happy with it. I think the teams that should be in are in. I'm happy SMU got in, Clemson got in. You know, the only one that I'm like, Clemson probably should have the 11, and then SMU had the 12, just because Clemson beat them, in that title match.
True.
Um,
Very true.
that's my only thought there. But the fact that they kept Bama out makes me very relieved and happy to think moving forward that the committee is going to get it right.
Yes, I do think it was a very good what can we say? A very good sign that Alabama was not in, and really it didn't even seem like was in contention
Oh yeah, and
to
all
get
I
into
see is
this.
nothing but just like snub, 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 snub. They did not get fucking snubbed. Not at all.
No. If anybody got snubbed, I think I would say Miami. I feel like
Yeah.
Miami was, a team that was potentially where Arizona State would be, and within the last 3 weeks, like they lose one game, and all of a sudden they drop out of the top 12. But again, that was if they were in Clemson spot or SMU spot, they would have win or lose in the AC championship, they still would have made it. So I'm not too heard about that. I just like Miami this season. But when we talk about the college football bracket, I think the first thing that needs to be addressed, Casino, is how Oregon kind of got screwed in the seeding, because unlike the NFL bracket where it gets reseeded every step of the bracket, right? So the highest seed always plays the lowest seed and stuff like that. It instead is like how the NBA does brackets, where you're just stuck in your part of the bracket, and no matter who wins or loses, you play the team. So Oregon plays the winner of Tennessee, Ohio State, who are the 9th and 8th seed. So even if SMU or Clemson wins, they don't get to play them. I mean, they would play Clemson if it got to, the semifinals, but
Right.
that seems again, and if you're looking at all the potential teams that you would want to play if you were Oregon, I feel like of all the choices, it'd be Tennessee, Ohio State, Notre Dame are the 3 teams you wouldn't want to play. Right.
Yeah.
And then, like in the second round, and yet you're going to have a chance to definitely play one of the 3 teams you wouldn't want to play.
Totally.
It seems that, like Georgia, if Indiana pulls the upset, all of a sudden you're getting number 2 seed Georgia against number 10 seed Indiana, while Oregon has to go against Tennessee or Ohio State, who's one of the 3 teams in this bracket I feel like could actually win the national championship. That seems weird.
Yeah. So with all that being said and broken down, obviously, we let's before we get into how we think the bracket's going to go down. Obviously, UNLV lost to Boise, and so I want to just kind of touch on that. Their coach is going to Purdue now, which sucks. So it was a fun ride while it lasted, right? Anyway, so now we got some bowl scheduling. UNLV, they've got Cal in the LA Bowl, which will be fun. I don't know if you've looked up any of the bowl games.
Yeah, I
But
have them
I
right
mean,
here.
yep. Any of them that you were excited for?
Uh, not really. Not none of them are
I'm
really
I'm
doing it
I'm
for me.
looking forward to the South Carolina Illinois. That's going to be in the Citrus Bowl. That's going to be a fun one because I like both of those teams. I like both of their seasons. They were both right on the outside looking in, which was really fun. Um, Michigan, Alabama, with what Michigan did to Ohio State, I know that was a rivalry game. So I'm kind of interested to see if Michigan can take down Bama because Bama obviously has lost to bad teams, but Michigan just beat a good team. So,
Yeah.
to take the rivalry game, and do we put weight on that or not? But that's going to be for the Relay Quest Bowl, whatever it is, Tampa game, the Tampa
Yeah.
game.
I think the ones I like are Pop-Tarts Bowl, which is Miami, Ohio,
You just
Iowa
want the
State.
Pop Tart to come out of the
I
fucking
do.
the
I
thing
like
again,
Pop-Tarts.
dude.
I
That was.
like,
Did you remember last year when it was
yeah.
dancing out of the thing? That was
I
great.
I used it as one
Toaster.
of our thumbnails for one of
That
our
was so
videos.
good.
I also wanna see the Alamo Bowl with BYU, Colorado.
Yep,
I feel like
that was
that'll
gonna
be
be
a
my
good
next
one.
big one. Yeah,
And then,
that's gonna be fun.
I think, Texas A&M, maybe USC in the Las Vegas Bowl. That would be a good one. Maybe we could go to that casino.
Possibly.
Uh, yeah, but other than that, I
So,
really do
are
think
are you excited for bowl season? Like, are you gonna watch? Because a lot of people thought with these college football playoffs that nobody's gonna give a shit about the bowls
I
outside
was
of like the fans of those teams.
I literally was just gonna make that point. I really do think college football playoff might be the nail in the coffin for the bowl games because I don't really think again, I think 12 is a good number. I think if this was 14 or what, it would have to be yeah, if we added 2 more teams in here, you put Alabama and Miami in this college football playoff. I don't think you could make a case for any other teams.
Yeah,
So if it was what is it, the top 14 teams in here, and then it's 15 through 25, and then all the unranked teams just playing random bowl games that legitimately mean nothing. I think that would
just
honestly be
outside
the
of
death.
pride.
Yeah, I think that would be the death of if NIL didn't kill the bowl games that aren't the
Yeah,
college football playoff.
which
I think this will.
I mean, we could save it for another day, another time. But dude, that portal is so rough. It's so rough. There's something that I would want to talk about if we had time. But yeah, so those are the bowl games. I'm still excited because I want to see UNLV have their best record ever with an 11 win, and I think they could do that versus Cal. But yeah, so I'm still interested in some bowl games, especially the ones that as we talked about, BYU, Colorado. That's going to be fun to watch, especially since you have the Heisman most likely winner there with Travis Hunter.
Yeah.
And then you have the South Carolina Illinois game, who both of those programs played really good this season. Almost got some at-large bids there. So I'm excited for a few of them. I will be watching. Plus, it's just more football scattered throughout the entire next month, which is going to be nice.
Well, yeah. And
We'll be able to watch stuff for the next month.
The first round, we're recording this on the 10th of December. So the first game of the college football playoff does not start till December 20th. So we have 10 days. And that's going to be Indiana at number 7, Notre Dame. And then the very next day on that Sunday, or I'm sorry, on that Saturday
You have
is where
4
you
in a row.
get SMU at Penn State, Clemson at Texas, Tennessee at Ohio State. So, of the first round matchups, Casino, what matchup are you looking forward to the most?
Honestly, I I'll be honest, I don't know. I don't really because I think I have some clear winners on each side. I guess Tennessee, Ohio State.
That's the one I'm
Um,
looking forward to the most. Yeah,
yeah, because no matter how much I like SMU, Penn State's gonna win that
annihilate
game.
them.
They should.
Yeah,
They
yeah,
should. I know Texas has had some struggles, but they're better than Clemson. We just
yes,
know that. Notre Dame, they're yes, they don't have a conference, but they're a great team. And Indiana, good for them for having a great season, but Notre Dame should roll them. So I think Tennessee, Ohio State will be fun. So yeah. So let's while we're doing that, what how do you think the playoffs are going to go? you don't have to go the whole way. Like, who do you think is going to be some semifinals and the final and then the winner?
I think the first round is pretty set to what's going to happen outside of the Tennessee Ohio State game. I think much like you said, everybody's going to be rooting for SMU and Indiana, but I think Notre Dame and Penn State absolutely annihilate them both. And then on the other side, I think Texas, we can have a larger Ewers discussion because he seems to be the weak link in Texas's team, where Texas looks like they could be the best team in the league if they had, like I always talk about him, but the Miami quarterback. If he was
Yeah.
on Texas, I feel like they'd be a shoe-in to at least get to the finals. But Texas, I still think has enough to beat Clemson, even though I thought Clemson looked really good in that ACC championship game. So I think it's going to be in the second round. I think it's going to be Texas, Arizona State, then Boise State, Penn State, Georgia, Notre Dame, and then Oregon versus, I'm gonna pick Ohio State. And I really think the only ones that have a chance to go all the way are probably Georgia, Oregon, Ohio State, and then Notre Dame. I
Yeah.
think
So
those would be my four.
yeah, so that's how I see it. So I think the biggest game is going to come down to Oregon, Ohio State on
Yeah,
that side of the bracket. I
yeah.
think Oregon will get it done personally. Um, and then yes, the Texas game should be interesting, but because I have them making it to the semis as well on that side of the bracket, but not beating Ohio State or Oregon. And then Notre Dame and Georgia, man, that is going to be a great one. I mean, obviously Notre Dame has to beat Indiana, but I think it's going to be, me personally, I think it's going to be a Notre Dame Oregon
I could
championship.
see that. Yeah.
Championship, and I will be rooting my ass off for Notre Dame. Not because I did dislike Oregon, because I don't. I will be rooting my ass off for Notre Dame because my grandpa, who's almost 91 years old, he wants to see Notre Dame win one in his lifetime, and it's coming close. I mean, he's in great health. Honestly, my grandpa's in great health for being 90, almost 91.
Well,
But
also Notre Dame has won it in his lifetime.
no, that's
In
true.
90, like it's not like Notre Dame is,
Right, but he wants,
has
I
never won
mean,
a,
not
he wants
he
one
wants
more.
one more. Thank you for
Yes.
yes. Sorry, that's what I meant to say. One more. My mom keeps saying once in his lifetime. I've had to correct her the same way, so that's why it was in my mind that way. So he wants one more time. So I will be rooting for Notre Dame, and I think they have a good shot. So yeah, those are going to be the two big interesting games: Ohio State, Oregon, before they even reach the semis, and then same with Notre Dame, Georgia, before they reach the semis.
Yeah.
Um,
I
yeah,
think for me, what is it? I've never liked Penn State ever since the,
the
Sandusky
diddle.
whole thing. Yeah. So being able to root so strongly against them for two underdogs in SMU and Boise State is going to be fun. And then if it does come down to Notre Dame, Georgia, or Penn State, I feel like I would be happy with Notre Dame or Georgia going to the finals over either of those two teams. I think the right side of the bracket, when you look at it, really comes down to Notre Dame, Georgia. And then when you look at the left side of the bracket, to me, it's really Ohio State and Oregon. I
Yeah,
think those are the four in this bracket but again, it's a bracket for a reason. They did the playoffs for a reason. It just takes one game for
yeah, and
one.
I honestly, I can look at all these teams and make a case for every team. For
Yeah.
every team, because they're all top notch teams for a reason.
Yeah. And again, what is it? It'll be fun. And we get it, yeah, from December 20th till January 9th. Or no, the national championship is, it's to be determined. So it'll definitely be, but see, that's a long time. The first round starts on December 20th. The semifinals are
That's
just
fine. That's what I'm
January
saying. We
9th.
get football. We
That is
get
a
college
long time.
football probably all the way damn near till the Super Bowl.
Yeah, but again, that's good. Because what? It'll be January 10th is when the semifinals will be. So the national championship will probably be 2 weeks after that. So it'll be almost end of January
Yeah, it's
when
like
football
January
season
20th
ends.
is what it shows here on ESPN that I'm looking at.
So, I mean, that's great. That's great. Another full month of college football and also meaningful college football, not
Yeah.
just random, the Fiesta, Tostitos Fiesta Bowl, which means nothing.